start. Really quick, I just want to give a shout out to our sponsors. I hope you guys had an opportunity to go to the expo earlier this morning. Not yesterday, that was just yesterday. So special thanks to Ularity, IKS, Cypress Risk Partners, Genovi, and ProCare for sitting out. I don't know if you guys got a cute little penguin, but there's penguins in there. Yes. Okay. All right, so before I introduce Ron, I just want to really quickly go over some housekeeping stuff. There are no scheduled breaks in for this morning, so if you need to use the restroom, you need some coffee, feel free to, do that on your own. We do have an afternoon break scheduled, but we'll tell you more about that as we get moving on. In your folder, Marianne showed you your agent bingo card. But in there is also a peer recognition form. Can you guys take that out and show that to me? You don't see what everyone cares about? Yes. Yes. So as you're going through your breakout groups, as you're going through the sessions, things like that, be sure to capture those things. If you hear or see something that you really want to recognize from somebody, capture those, and we're going to be celebrating those awards tomorrow, okay? Let's see what else I need to tell you. The name tag, so on your name tag, you probably have a number. That is your virtual game number for this afternoon, as well as your IQ roundtable number. So just know that we may have to pivot if we have some groups, some of our out-of-state friends weren't able to get in here because of our storm. So we may have to move, but right now that's kind of where you're at, okay? Any questions before we get this kicked off and ready to go? All right, we're ready. Okay, so he's been called the Messiah of the mind, the bad boy of early childhood, and the behavior master. His laughter-filled keynotes, workshops, and assemblies are always full of eye-opening experiences, and audience have multiple aha moments. The creator world likes aha moments. He is the creator of Yogarati, an internationally acclaimed behavior mastery system. Ron holds a master's in education, is a best-selling author, motivational speaker, and most importantly, he's funny. His background in martial arts, yoga, Reiki, professional wrestling, and improv creates hilarious and educational experiences focusing on mindfulness and connecting with fellow humans and their inner child. I present to you Ron Schwally.
Thank you for coming up with that all by yourself. Let's play.
Just like this. Ready?
you busted out laughing so much that no sound came out of your body, no air came out the front, maybe the back, but that's okay. Awesome. So my name is Ron. Good morning. This is called unprofessional development. It's the opposite of professional development. I'm going to apologize right off the bat. There will be no PowerPoint presentation today. If you bought a book to read or a podcast to listen to, you may not be able to, enjoy it at this time. My background, why am I here talking to owners and directors of preschools? I started a preschool enrichment company in New Jersey in 2005, where we went to all different chain schools and did enrichment programs, and I had conversations with directors and owners and franchisees for 15 years to really understand what the pain points were and also how to make things more fun and more exciting. So just to give you a little background, because some of you have this voice in your head that's judging you right off the bat. Like, how many of you have a voice in your head? Yeah, that one right there. Okay, you do it. Yeah, the one that said like that one. What are you talking about? Like, how many of you have a voice in your head that judges you, evaluates you, talks at you, tells you you have at least 1 pound of weight to lose every single time you walk by the mirror or you go in the shower? Okay, and that voice in your head talks at you all the time. And it's part of you, so it's okay. So just get that voice in your head that we're going to be talking about during the morning is just part of you. But it's not your conscious. I want you to try on, it's not your conscious, it's just part of your automatic systems. Like, I'll give you an example of how we are all automatic. Ready? If I say up, you say. If I say left, you say. If I say stop, you say. Congratulations, you all have oppositional defiance disorder. Give yourselves a round of applause. Some people are looking at me like, no, I don't, and there it is right there. It's okay. It's part of being human. Just be aware the voice in your head's going all the time. How many of you go into a store, you have no idea where something is, and then you say, as somebody comes up to you, gotta help you find something. Half a second out of your mouth, you go what? No, and then like you're not going into work that day because you're gonna be lost in a Walmart driving all different aisles. So just consider there's a voice in your head and it's fine, and we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about how we create win-lose unintentionally. But first thing I want to do is I want to warm you guys up a little bit. Anybody here a little bit cold? Okay, nobody? Okay, Bert? Okay, fine. So you don't have to do anything. You're good. All right, so cool. Ready? So everybody take your hands, put them together like this, and we're going to do some spinal stretching. If you have a spine, this is going to benefit you. Okay, no matter what, maybe your ex says about you. Okay, now look up, elbows up, breathe in. Tuck your chin, or from your chins, elbows down, and breathe out. We're going to do 5 of these. Ready, set, go. Cool. How many of you feel even 1% warmer? That's good. When you're starting to learning is a process that incorporates the body and the mind and the brain and everything together. So if you're just going into your classrooms, if you have your teachers just coming in, their warm-up is their cup of coffee, and they're not doing anything to engage their bodies, it's not going to be as beneficial of a learning environment. Same thing in circle time too. Like, how many of you think that you can have your staff do breathing in circle time? Absolutely, right? How many of you, they could do breathing, they could do stretching, but they're stuck doing the What's the Weather song 4 days in a row when the weather hasn't changed? How many of you have staff that they're kind of like NPCs? You ever saw that movie Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds? They're stuck in their programming at 9:30. They just came from outside. It's sunny. It's been sunny for 4 days. There's no rain, and still they're programming. Their voice command goes, it's time to do the What's the Weather song. And the one kid that loves the weather song because he wants to have the only job in the world that he can be wrong half the time and still keep it, a weatherman, right? And he's like, what's the weather? And all the other kids are like, are you serious? It's sunny. The beams of light are coming in, it's sunny. Why are we doing this? So consider that we get stuck in certain programs and maybe changing things up a little bit will benefit us. Let's do another stretch. Awesome, I'm glad you're excited. Now, when I say let's do another stretch, just be aware, be present to the voice in your head. What is the voice in your head? Go, oh boy, I don't want to stretch. I'm going to do the stretch because I want to look good in front of other people that are around here. Just be present to the voice. Talks. It talks. Ready? Hang one hand up. Grab onto your wrist. Up your own wrist, miss. Thank you. Okay? All right, this will make friends at the conference. Okay, breathe in, breathe out, and gently pull across like this. And now just breathe. This is about being gentle with yourself. Breathe in, breathe out, and all you're doing is you're feeling your lat, you're feeling your side body stretch. Breathe in, breathe out, pull even more. Notice when the voice in your head tells you you're done stretching, even though it's not time to be done stretching. It's fine. The voice in your head, breathe in, breathe out, pull. The voice in your head is going to sabotage you. Anything that feels good for your body, the voice in your head might go, you don't deserve it. And it's okay. Come back up. Notice how we get in the way of our own staff wellness and our own self-care because that voice in your head talks at us. Grab onto the other hand, breathe in, breathe out, pull. There you go. Breathe in and pull even more. Notice what you're feeling in your body. Anybody know what fascia is? F-A-S-C-I-A? Not functional, but fascia. Okay, breathe in, breathe out, pull. It's a membrane, it's like a tissue between your muscles and your skin. And that's where trauma is stored. Breathe in, breathe out, and pull. And when you stretch your fascia out, it releases energy, it releases endorphins in the body. Okay, come back up. How many of you feel a little bit better? How many of you, if every hour at 9 and 10 and 11, you put an announcement over or you came by and you told everybody at your school, it's time to stretch, it's time to breathe. What would the environment be like? As in, like actually stopping everything and doing that. Okay, so what's interesting is I said up, everybody said down. Nobody said stairs. Nobody said yours. I said left, everybody said right. Nobody said handed. I said stop, no matter how intelligent everybody is in here. I said stop, everybody immediately, in 1 second, said go. Nobody went hammer time. Nobody said, in the name of love, before you break my heart. Why? Because this is an automatic program that exists inside of you. How many of you understand your brain has a regulatory system that tells your body when to breathe? You don't have to sit there and go, oh, what do I do? Oh, uh-oh, now I'm stuck. Right, when you're standing up, your brain doesn't have to kick in and go and make sure you don't fall over. So there's automatic things that happen. When I said up, you said down. I said left, you said right. I said stop, you said go. Did it take you longer than half a second, or was it already out of your mouth? Yeah, so it's not you. Consider, try on. That thing that reacts, it's just an automatic system in your body. If it was you, you'd be able to be like, just think about this. But you don't, it's just automatic. So anytime you have a reaction, and it's automatic, I want you to get, it's not you, the human being, the soul, the essence, the beautiful human that helps preschool kids, it's just a system. It's just a system. Like, how many of you have kids at home? How many of you have kids at home and the kids at home greet you like the kids at the preschool do? How do the kids at the preschool greet the teachers? How do your kids at home greet you? What's up, cat money? So you would think, as adults, you would think your staff wouldn't ever want to talk down to a child. But they do, and it's not their fault. It's an automatic program. Finish this sentence. You get what you get. Yeah, okay. Oh, pitch a fit. Okay, somebody's an athlete there. That's also pitching. I can have a visual of that. Pitch a fit. Like, fit. Okay. How long did it take you to say your response? Yeah, so it's not you, it's just your program. Before you went into early childhood, did you ever hear you get what you get and you don't get upset? Who came from a corporate environment and then bought a school? Or came from somewhere else and then you know what I'm saying? And then you don't hear it in a CEO office. You're talking about, this and this, and you get what you get, and our stock is down. You get what you get, and you don't get upset. It doesn't work that way. But why would you say that to a child? The child comes up to one of your teachers. They come up to one of your teachers, they go, I want 5 more minutes on the computer. And then the teacher, how do your teachers say this? How do you say this to the kids? Do you look at a child and you take a breath? And do you project love to that child that you're taking care of for more hours than their parents are? And you say to the child, my dear, you get what you get. And you don't get upset. Namaste to you. Do we say it like that? Or is the teacher like, you get what you get and you don't get upset? And they're thinking about their paychecks? Oh, sorry, that pushed the button a little bit. Okay. What if you went out to dinner today? Go to one of these restaurants. We're all the meat eaters, the carnivores, the ones that understand why we have these teeth. We don't ignore them. God Where are all the seafood eaters? You know, the seafood eaters got it. Where are all the vegans? Oh, you would have told us already. I'm so fine. Okay. So you go out to dinner at your favorite restaurant. And the waiter brings everybody to the table exactly what they wanted. You ordered your filet, you ordered your lobster, you ordered your whatever, your fettuccine alfredo, a la cream with a scoop of ice cream, who knows, whatever. And the waiter puts in front of you a plate with a white piece of tofu on it. And he goes, enjoy it. That's not what you ordered. And you say, excuse me, this is what I ordered. And the waiter turns to you and says, you get what you get and you don't get upset. How many of you would be like, okay, valid? How many of you would like lift the table and lose your mind? How many of you are the people pleasers? Where are the people pleasers that would sit there and just, well, you know, somebody spent a lot of time cutting this piece of tofu. I don't want to, you know, I know the waiter didn't write it down because he said I got it and he never did it. And I should have said something, but I didn't. So now we need to go. How's your filet mignon dripping? Oh, wow. How's your lobster? Oh, you have Alfredo's? 1 second. I don't want to get the waiter in trouble. Okay, so by the way, people pleaser is just a program. Now, your brain went, no, it's not. It's fine. It doesn't. It wants you to believe you really are a people pleaser. Like, this is a chemical computer. You don't learn this in public school. If you learn this in public school, you'd have way too much power to make too many good decisions. This is understanding how the automatic systems work. So consider when you say things like, you get what you get and you don't get upset. You're doing win-lose communication. You don't even know. How many of you have staff that do this? No, thank you. Joey, no thank you, Joey. And Joey's looking at you like, no, you're welcome? Like, I don't even understand. Like, what are we doing here? No, thank you. Like, does that kid understand anything? Is there any benefit? Imagine you're driving, all of a sudden the cop pulls you over. License and registration, no, thank you. And then it just goes off. You're sitting there, you gotta hide the beer, you gotta whatever, and root beer, of course. And then the cop comes back. Here's 2 tickets, license and registration, no, thank you. And, like, did you learn anything? No, it's win-lose. Are you making good choices today? Are we making good choices today? Ever have a kid look at you like, I made 47 choices in the last half hour? Can you narrow it down? Be a little more specific? Are we making good choices? I don't know. Do you have your listening ears on? Are we being a good listener today? Do you have your listening ears on? The kid's looking at you like, running to get my hearing checked? Or what are you talking about? Why are you always asking about my listening? I hear you on the other side of the room where the camera can't see you, where your voice texting your friends and people. I mean, you know, whatever. So you notice, oh, this is automatic stuff. This is automatic crazy stuff. How many of you have somebody at home that doesn't listen to you? Now think about it. Is it that they don't listen to you? They got to raise his hand all the way up in there. Obviously that person's not here today. I understand what you're doing. Okay. You got his hand all the way. Other people are just like, okay. Is it that they don't listen to you, or they listen to you all the time because you follow them from room to room to room, saying the same thing over and over again? They don't have a choice not to listen to you. But they're just not doing what you want them to do. But here's the stupidity of human language with the knights and the knights and the soundings and all it's sounding, you know? Like that color and then the food and fish. When did we ever? Yeah, I don't do some letters are silent. No, it's stupid. I'm sorry. I'm not buying into that. Whatever. When did we take listening, using our ears to hear information, and following directions, something completely different, and then put that together and make it mean the same thing and not give the kids the heads up? Hey, when you come to school, I know you're learning language, so being a good listener and following directions are the same thing, and a lot of people are going to ask you, why aren't you listening? And they really mean, why aren't you following directions? The kid's going to look at you at 2 and go, why don't they just change it? And then the adult goes, I'm an adult, I'm taller than you, I have a degree, I know what's best for you. All the other words that disconnect you from a child. So consider that there's so much win-lose happening in adult conversations and language, and we're not even aware of it. So by the way, don't believe anything that I say. If you hear something that might interest you, cool, think about it. Consider it. Write it down on a piece of paper. I gave everybody evaluation forms. There's a doodle box on the back if you want to write some stuff down, some notes, whatever, that's totally fine. And just consider that there's another way of communicating that we've never been taught because it would make us way more powerful. How many of you watch sports games? Okay. So sports are designed to be win-lose. That's how it works. So there's two teams here. There's a basketball game between a group of kids. There's the blue team and there's the white team. Are you guys happy you sat all the way in the corner so you can kind of not really see the you're good? Okay. We're going to turn this a little bit. You're good? Okay, fine. All right, awesome. I love when I do trainings and they set up the chairs like this, like to the direction, and there's somebody that is just so, not you, but there's somebody that literally their choice the entire time when they wonder why they're going to have back pain is they're going to sit, not you, I'm saying some other people, and they sit like this the whole time. And they sit like this the whole time, and then when they get up, they're going to be getting up and walking like this, you know. But to just let you know, they're transformed. Now, what then happens is the people that I'm kind of talking about, their brain goes, now I'm not going to do it because that's the way we're designed. So I'll give you an example. Like, how many of you are coming to my behavior mastery training in the afternoon? 1, 2, 3. Okay, fine. Okay, so if you do, we're going to talk about how adults are spiteful, which is why kids are spiteful. But until you realize that all these little kids is you with your inner child now, then you actually get to connect with them more instead of looking at them as just kids. Like, how many of you have ever been driving and somebody cuts in front of you and all of a sudden you're this far away from their bumper? Because your brain, your adult goes, I'm going to ride up. Does your brain go, I'm going to ride up their bumper? And she's like, yes. Okay, there's no other questions yet. I'm going to ride up their bumper and show them how close they got into an accident by getting close to almost getting into an accident. Does your adult brain that wants to pay extra insurance every month for 3 years do that? No. See, we have an inner child. And this inner child is the one that, unfortunately, some of us were lied to when we're told to grow up. Some of us were told things. Some of us, our inner child is so angry and so upset because someone said to you one time, if you can't make money doing it, you shouldn't do it. And you stop because this is somebody in your family that's not happy and all they care about is money. And that's because their programming was don't worry about being happy, make money first, program, like my parents, like my grandparents, I get it. Your inner child is who wants to play. Your inner child is the teacher that gets on the floor with the kids instead of the teacher that won't even squat down or get out of the chair. And that's fine, because everybody here gets access to my online library, which includes an online course called Strengthening, which shows you how to strengthen your ACL, your PCL, your MC hammer, your ankles, your knees, how to get rid of sciatic pain, carpal tunnel pain, so that they can be more physical with the kids, they can do kinesthetic stuff with the kids. Does that kind of make sense? Okay. Let me see, I want to show you. 2 teams. By the way, I am super ADHD, okay? G, gifted. It's not a disorder unless you're a normal person who's not as fast or sharp or smart as we are. Like, how many of you watch Avengers movies or X-Men? You know every time there's a superpowered group of people, the normal people don't like that and they try to take their powers away. And that's kind of what happens when these kids are running around your groups and they're going like this, and all of a sudden your teacher in a second goes, that child has? Yeah, why do you need an IEP? Why do you need somebody from the county to come? You can diagnose them in half a second right there. That child has ADHD, that child has too much what? Yeah, but when they're 15 and their brain processes sports plays faster than any other kid, and they're running a whole football team or soccer team or a corporation at 15, running up and down the field, and there's college recruiters trying to throw them hundreds of thousands of dollars because their brains operate so much better. And that's not your kid. Does that kid have too much energy or your kid have too little energy? Why can't you be like him? You know? So just notice that our brain likes to be right, and likes to make others wrong, and we get this dopamine thing, that is fine if you don't want to be connected to any human beings. If you don't want love, if you don't want joy, if you want to be a robot that's only purpose is waking up, work, make money, go to sleep, that's fine. Give it another 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Hopefully you'll be able to open up your heart a little bit. When you're watching the video of the little kid, where did you feel that? Oh, I'll go back to this. Hopefully it'll play perfectly. Ready? Notice right now, I'm talking at you, so your mind is in your brain. What do I mean by that? Like your mind moves everywhere. Your brain and your mind are two different things. If I say right now, think about your left pinky toe. How many of your eyes covered? Have to think about your right thumb. Even if you didn't move, how many of you are more present to your right thumb? Think about your left ear. Yeah, so that's your mind. You're moving your mind wherever you want it to go. The thing is that we're not taught that our mind can move through our body to the other decision makers. The decision maker like the heart. The decision maker like the brain. Oh, I totally forgot the inner child thing. Somebody drives in front of you, your inner child sees them, and then your inner child doesn't do something calm. Your inner child reacts, or your inner child doesn't goes, no cutting! And then you wonder why you ran the person's bumper. By the way, how many of you have kids that when you say line up, they run to the front? Yeah, and how many of you have teachers or you train your teachers to stop them from doing that? Why? Don't you want people that have initiative? Don't you want kids that have drive? Don't you want kids that want to win, that want to do amazing things? What I do in my yoga karate classes is they run to the front no matter what. So I can't even say don't run or stop. They're already at the front. So it's great. I let them run to the front. And then they hold the door. And then everybody walks out. And now they're the caboose of the train. It's not about being in the front. It's about some kids are just trained to go to the front. If you're not first, you're last. Ricky Bob. So now I'm going to stop talking, and I'm going to put this video back on, and just notice where your mind goes and where you feel this.
Are you ready? Yeah.
How many of you heard or felt awe? Awe is the sign of your heart opening. Awe is the sign of love. What's the opposite of awe? Fine. The word fine. When anybody says, I'm fine, it's fine, you're fine, it's fine, that's a signal to go, I need help and I don't know how to ask. People pleasers. So when someone goes, I'm fine. Okay, got it. How can I help you? What's going on with your day? If that makes sense. That's actually looking win-win instead of win-lose. So notice today when your brain is on when I'm talking at you, and then when your heart activates. We'll go through that a little bit. Okay, two teams. Blue team. So this kid over here, number 10, what did he do? He shot the ball into the basket. That's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to do win-lose. That's how it is, right? One team does win-lose better than the other team, and either the blue team and the friends and family are going to explode and be happy, or the white team is going to be happy, but usually not both. But there's a beautiful human being here that's present to an opportunity for win-win that just disrupts everything. One of these disruptors. Now this kid over here, number 10, did what he's supposed to do, shot the ball into the basket. Hey, the ball hit the rim. That's amazing. I would have airballed the thing completely. So let's watch what happens. So now number 50 is going to help number 0 get the ball into the hoop. How many of you just felt that? Oh. And now it's gone. Okay, cool, awesome. That's what happens. You've been trained your whole entire life to just focus being up in your brain. You're not taught to train in your heart. So when you focus on being in your heart more, life is going to be so much more amazing, and you're going to feel more instead of shutting off your feelings. And then your fear turns on even more. Okay. Okay, so we didn't make it this time. I promise at the end he's going to make it. Now, number 10, the champion of win-lose. What do you think number 10 does? How many of you think number 10 shoots the ball to the basket? Okay, how many of you think number 10 turns and has a reality check, wakes up, realizes that another option other than win-lose is possible, and wakes up and gives the ball number 50. How many of you think that's going to happen? Okay, good. You're so sweet. Good for that. Okay, cool. What would you do? How many of you would give the ball number 50? How many of you would shoot the ball into the basket? Got it. Awesome. He just got to put his hand in here. How many of you would shoot the ball into the basket but you didn't raise your hand so you don't want to be judged by the people next to you? Good. How many of you don't take actions in life because you're afraid of other people judging you? How many of you gave up on a dream? How many of you have kids that or know people that gave up on dreams because they're afraid of other people judging you? Here's the crazy part. People are judging you all the time, every second and every day. You're always being judged. That's how our body operates. I have to judge you to see if you're a threat. How many of you judged me the second I came in with my baby shark shirt on? You don't have a choice. Yeah, whatever judging is, it's not a bad thing. I mean, there's judges on America's Got Talent. I love them. That everybody judges. How many of you haven't taken an action? This is for yourself, because I want this to be about you too. Not the man. You should, okay? How many of you haven't taken an action in your life, haven't followed a dream, haven't traveled somewhere, haven't dated a person that you're not supposed to date, haven't done this, haven't done that, because that person that judges you, they're not even on the planet anymore. But your brain or your relative that doesn't take action in their life, they say, if they saw you doing that, they roll what? Over in their grave. And I'm here to tell you, that's impossible. Do you know how tight the graves are? You know that they drop the bodies in, and you can't move this way. It's really hard, and the muscles are gone. So, okay, just check it. And I love it when I see some people laughing, and then the more I do like comedy type stuff, the more I see some people just like slithering back, like this is supposed to be about business. And I get it. It's totally fine. Okay, cool. Those people that are finding it a challenge to laugh, just get it's okay, there's nothing wrong. You've just been programmed more by people around you that you're either, what would my dad say as computer systems engineer, there's only certain times you're allowed to laugh. You know, how many of you have been taught there's only certain places you can laugh and certain places this, and in a business environment, you're not going to, ew. Like, go work at IBM if you want to be boring. This is early childhood. You have little 3-year-old kids that are up to the I mean, do you look at that child as like, okay, that's $1,000 a month? Or do you look at that child as, oh, like, I love you, you're so cute, I don't even have, my kids are in college, I'm paying for them, like, you're, like, I want to hug you. Okay. That's what number 10 does. How many of you wish in your head is going right now? Talking, noticing things, noticing how, like if you notice that a lot of people laugh and you don't, consider it's funny, and your brain's not letting you laugh. How many of you didn't laugh at that grave joke? Why? How many of you get offended? We're still in Florida. I live in Fort Lauderdale, so we're cool here. But how many of you know people that get offended for other people and they're not even there? Yeah, good, great, good. That really benefits them never. It does. There is a benefit. There's a reason why we do things like that, and I'll go through it, and then you're going to have a chance and an opportunity to totally change your life forever. I'll let the voice in your head just say something like, nope, but that's okay. What a surprise, number 10 shot ball. Listen, number 10 is great. I love number 10. Number 10 is a human being, is a worker bee, stuck in win-lose. Like, win-lose is amazing. How many of you have people in life that if there's a piece of paper on the floor, how many of you have a staff member that or somebody at home that'll walk by and go, there's a spot for that shouldn't be there. Then they'll come back from changing this and that, like, how come nobody's picked this up? This is ridiculous. And then they're starting to get heated. It's like, there's a spot for that. And this is all going inside here, not there, blah, blah, blah. And then you have the other teacher that not a lot of people like, and she's always happy. And she's got bluebirds on her shoulders. And she's singing Sound of Music. And she sees the paper. And she goes, good morning. And that person's like, why'd you pick that up? I have nothing else to be angry at. Where's Joey? Okay, so. What does number 25 do? It's this kid that gets the ball. What do you think he does? Yeah, so he throws the ball back number 50, but number 50 takes an action. Number 50 goes, ball. You're leaders of your school. You're leaders of adults within their children, and you're leaders of children, and you're leaders of the bigger, whinier babies called the parents. Okay. So just understanding that everybody has all this stuff. Imagine all the stuff going on in your head and now what's going on in their head the whole entire time. So just notice, sometimes you need a leader to step up to change everything. Sometimes you need a Martin Luther King Jr. to totally transform the world. Sometimes you need an Elon Musk, Tony Stark to transform the world. Number 50 transforms the world by creating win-win and by doing something that wouldn't have happened without him. Now, could this kid over here on the other team run over and knock the ball out of his hand? Yeah. Does he? No. Because he's a human being. I want you to get this. He's a human being present, meaning awake, aware, not on his phone, that there's an opportunity for win-win. So he's going to let it happen. Could Zuckerberg Jr. over here like run up and like Facebook like that? He could, but he doesn't do it. Even the referee, most of the kids know what's happening, except number 10. It's funny. It's funny, but just get, what if in life you have people, and I'm telling you, if you like comedies, Ryan Reynolds, the movie's called Free Guy. It's about NPC, non-playable characters, and it has such a resonance. It's so impactful in real life. The last movie I saw that had a lot to do with real life impact was The Matrix. And it's about the same thing, understanding your stuck automatic program and breaking yourself out of it. All right, let's see what happens. You see that? Do you look at number 10? How long does it take number 10 to react? How long does it take for some of your staff to react when a child does something that the child is doing? If you're in circle time and this kid is like me and they're moving and they roll over onto their stomach and they put their hands, and hopefully they don't have a full beard, and they put their hands like this and they're rolling around, they're doing something different. How many of you have staff or you know people that they're just looking for something to make something wrong? As opposed to be like, cool, this looks different. Let's see what happens. Wow, early childhood, let's discover what happens. Okay, now I'm going to close my mouth, believe it or not. And I'm going to let your hearts open up again. So notice, right now, there's a lot of static, blah, 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 blah. And then just now notice but I'm going to do something called the pattern interrupt first, part of my behavior mastery, so I can make sure to get the attention of everyone, because not everybody is paying attention to me. This woman is my destiny, she said. All right, I got 4 people. Let's show each other as we're big. Shizzle. Okay, good. All right. By the way, these are pattern interrupts as part 1 of behavior mastery, how to get the attention of everybody without going Billy, Joey, Susie, 1, 2, 3, eyes on me, what did I tell you, what do we talk about? Just playing a song. This board was $100, it's really easy to set up. Imagine if you had this at your school and just hit a button, and then all of a sudden it just like, you know, and everybody's doing it, and all the kids like, ice, dude. And they stop for 5 seconds, and they go back to what they were doing. All right, I'll be quiet. Enjoy your hearts opening. Is this really over in 10 minutes? 10:25? Wow, okay, cool. So, I realize I usually do like hour and a half, 2-hour keynotes. Everybody, by the way, for me here, everybody gets free coaching from me on Zoom or phone calls for the next 6 months on anything you want to talk about. I have so much stuff that I want to talk about that I didn't even get to. And the Captain of the Ship workshop is on the online courses, so you can look at it. There's a whole referral system, there's tons of stuff, so I'm just going to get through a bunch of stuff. Okay, so win-lose. child wrong, or make an adult wrong, or make a parent wrong, boom, system in here sends a message, dopamine. So noticing, if you want to shift your life, noticing when you're making people wrong. Noticing whenever you say things that don't connect with the other person, it's not going to benefit them. It's just a dopamine rush. So when you be right about something and make someone wrong, from this point on, you're choosing. It's more important for me to get a chemical rush in my body for 2 seconds or to connect with the human being in front of us. So hopefully if you take this and the behavior and all this stuff and you pass it on to your staff and they start realizing when they're saying, you get what you get, what did I tell you, what did we talk about, are you making, all of a sudden they'll be like, oh, and they'll start doing something else. They'll have different conversations. That voice in your head talks a lot, and I want to help you create more win-win, so I'll give you a couple examples. Win-win words to use with staff, with kids, and with adults. Okay, well, I mean, and parents, okay? If I said to you, I understand where you're coming from, but, are you going to like what I'm about to say? Oh, I've been talking to a parent. Oh, I know that you want us to do this and do that. However, are they excited about what you're going to say, or did they already put up a wall? So you say the word and. I understand where you're coming from, and that's not developmentally appropriate practice. I was doing a training, a director's training in Texas at an AUIC conference, and the director asked me, what do I do? Texas. What do I do if a parent says, I want you to take my child into the bathroom and give a little whooping if they're a little disrespectful? And the director's like, I can't do that. And the parent's like, why? I'll sign a paper, do this and that. And the director said no. And guess what happened? The parent pulled the child from the school. They just want to be right. They take their kids away from the teacher and the friends that they've made because they just want to be right. So try using the words for win-win as soon as. As soon as, because when a parent comes up to you and thinks you have the power to change the system, all you do is you go, what I told her, as soon as the state of Texas changes its laws on corporal punishment, we can revisit this conversation. But the parent puts the responsibility on you. So you take the responsibility and put it on where it actually belongs. Listen, if that parent wants to go and spend 10 years in politics to change it, so corporal punishment is not good for you, and then come back and revisit the conversation. Does that make sense? So using the words and. I get where you're coming from, but. I get where you're coming from, and. And this is also difficult to do because you're not used to doing it. So all I want you to do is just practice that. We're going to go over behavior mastery later on. I have some suggestions. Anybody have any time management challenges? Okay. How many of you are sitting at your desk, you're doing your sales, your marketing, your payroll, your whatever it is, and then the phone rings? How many of you rush and pick up that phone immediately? Why? Exactly. You don't have to. So what I offer you is something called the stat sheet. My dad gave me this as a way to, because my ADHD gifted brain goes all over the place. So anytime I start work mode or I'm presenting, I open up my laptop and I have a Word document open. It's called stat sheet. And then I'm working on something, I get a phone call, I get a text, I write down, I was working on this project, I was editing this video, and then I look at the phone, then I answer it. Something else comes up throughout the day, I write down, I'm getting hungry, I want to eat something, I can't focus, my blood sugar's dropping, whatever, ice cream truck went by, squirrel, I don't care. Whatever I was doing, I write it down. By the end of the day, I have 17 things on my stat sheet. And finally, I don't feel like I'm forgetting stuff. And I don't forget stuff. I forget stuff all the time up here, and I write it down. Just simple, just a piece of paper. Now, how many of you, your brain is talking at you going, I don't need to do that. I remember everything, and then if you ask your heart's like, you don't remember half the things. But you'd rather be right and get a 2-second dopamine than to consider actually having a piece of paper out. How many of you have teachers that come to you in your office and interrupt you while you're working to talk about personal problems? Yeah, now look, you're a manager. You're a manager, you're supposed to manage them. I understand that. If they're having a personal problem at home, it's going to affect the kids. We're going to do a team building activity tomorrow, where we're going to figure out ways how to change our way of being, so if you're having a grumpy day and you got cut off, you don't have to walk into school like that and then ruin the entire energy of the school. It's something completely different. But if if you put on your door, your office, these are the scheduled times that we can have our meetings. I say normally around lunchtime. You're already laughing. I say normally around lunchtime. So let's say 12:30 to 1, you have 2 slots open for 15-minute conversations. Let's say 2 to 2:30, which is also the best time to go to the dentist. From 2 to 2:30, you have 2 other 15-minute slots. Does that make sense? So you have 2 15-minute slots and 2 15-minute slots, an hour that you can coach and talk to the staff and personal stuff. And before they start your meeting, they punch out. What's the difference? Before they start their meeting, great. You're going to come in for your personal meeting, awesome. You're staying 15 minutes later because obviously you have to be here for the 8 hours. Do you think they're going to be coming into your office as much? Do you think they'll be disrupting? Now, look, I mean, if I can have a conversation with somebody, if you're paying them $20 an hour and they punch out for 15 minutes, that's $5. I would gladly pay $5 to have a 15-minute conversation with somebody that can help me. But they may choose that just because they want to run out of the room and then throw a ratio off, you know, they may choose not to do that. Does that make sense? And that's win-win. I'm not saying don't help them, but help them and make sure that you can connect with them while they also understand this isn't just like another way to do like break time, if that makes sense. Okay. Who does the touring? Is it the owner, franchisee, or the director? Yeah. Director? Okay. How many of you have ever heard of neurolinguistic programming? Sales techniques to understand what's going on the other side of the person. So how many already know, like if you're having a conversation with a prospective parent sitting at the desk, how many we already know? If this is happening, what are they thinking? Are they, great, I can't wait to give you a deposit. No, if they're leaning back, what if they're like this? They're interested. So let's push that a little bit more. Some people just need to, once you connect with them and win-win, they'll make the decision for you. How many of you have people that just shop schools? And the second somebody gives $50 less, the teachers are not as wonderful, blah, blah, blah. They don't have the exploratorium, they don't have this, they don't have that, but it's $50 a month. Did I say it right, exploratorium? Okay, cool. Yes, okay, awesome. So what if you, see, I just interrupted my own thought. What if you ask certain questions to see where they're going? So if you're talking to a prospect and you take them to the room, before you take them to the room, you ask them, do you want to see the room that your child might be in and look at what's going on? Or do you want to maybe go get a feel for the room and get a grasp of the situation? So the first 2 were visual sight words. The second, grasp, feel, were what? Kinesthetic words. So if an adult says, I want to get a feel for the room, if you can, go to the exploratorium, get them at the manipulative table, have them take a seat with Joey, exchange boogers, whatever you got to do, blah, blah. If it's a person that doesn't say the kinesthetic goes, I want to see what's going on, then just go into an area and visually show them everything. How many of you get a deposit no matter what? What's your deposit? None? $100. How many of you know that, like, even if you get a deposit for $25, that's going to sit in the back of their head? And if you get the deposit, they're more likely to come back. And what statistically, 80% of people that walk out never come back. So get a deposit, always. Are we done? Is there 1 minute left? Okay. So the last thing I want to do, the last thing I want to talk about real quick, let's do a little sing-along first. Ready? In West Philadelphia, born and raised. Children out there, we're back to the home. Some people outside the school. When I got one guy, so we're up to no good. Start thinking about what we're gonna do. I got one little friend, one guy scared. Say, moving with the OG and Uncle Bel Air. They didn't add that part. Last thing I'm going to leave you with the 30 seconds that I got. Oh, she's approaching me. I'm going to talk really fast. How many of you know what love language? How many of you know what love language? Turn the fan so it makes it harder for her to go. I have 7 baby strollers. If you don't have one of these, they're amazing. Here's the light. Yeah. Okay. These are awesome. I'm telling you, the best $30 I ever spent. Or stole off a stroller from a kid. It's like stealing a stroller from a baby. Love languages. Anybody know what they are? Acts of kindness, physical touch, gifts, or whatever the 5 are. At your next staff meeting, I offer, at your next staff meeting, tell everybody to take out their phone, probably already got anyway, and do the love language quiz. and learn everybody's love language. So that if you have someone that loves words of affirmation, that's their love language. They do something right, and then you say to them, here's a $10 Starbucks card, that's a gift. They don't care. You high five them. That's physical touch. They don't care. But if you say words, and they go, oh my God, your words are amazing. Now you're connected. So learn the love languages of every person in your life so that you can connect with them to create win-win. Does that make sense? Okay, cool, man. I'm going to be up here to hang out. I know you have other stuff to do. I love to talk. There's tons of other stuff, but I'm just going to be quiet for a second so that... Noise. Oh, and if you guys want to stalk me on social media, stalking is not legal. I'll chat with you all day tomorrow, too. I just appreciate you. I have so much more to talk about. But I'm going to go.
Let's give him a round of applause. Awesome. Thank you, Ron. Thank you so much. I didn't pick up my phone one time during your presentation. How about that? Good for her.
Thank you. Oh, really? You said that's good for her? Oh, wow. Okay. Awesome. Do you want to get it now?
What?
You want to get the phone now?
No, that's not that.
Oh, okay.